How many times have you been in a store and witnessed the people in front of you get their card declined? I've seen it happen quite a bit. And honestly, it's just, it's so awkward. You feel so bad for the person. You know, it's got to be embarrassing. They're trying, they're like, yeah, try it again, and they're looking around. Of course, you got to be here. And they start looking around, and you're like, trying to pretend like you don't notice what's going on. You're all looking at your groceries and stuff, trying not to, you don't want them to know, you saw what happened. You don't want them to be embarrassed. Hi, Jazz. Hi, baby. And one time, though, I was behind, it was this young lady, and then there was a gentleman in front of me, and he actually paid for her groceries. It wasn't very much, but I thought, how sweet. That was such a nice gesture. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm starting to see it happen more. I've seen it several times just recently, to be honest with you. And today it happened to me for the very first time at 63 years old. And let me tell you, it was embarrassing. I was really, I just kept going, I knew the money was there. I knew the money was there. I use my card, my Uber card. I don't use my bank card anymore because, there's more funds in there and I don't want to access them because I'm trying to save, right? So the money that I make from Uber, that's the money I use for, getting gas, or if I have to get a few extra things, I just use the amount that's on there. Well, I had just gotten paid today. Prop 22, they always, add in more money. So I had $159, I believe it was, some odd cents. And I went to the grocery store and I had like $20 worth of stuff. And, I stuck the card in, pulled it out, automatically it was declined. And I thought, oh, I did it too fast or something. So, I said, oh, let me do it again. She goes, oh, it's okay. So I did it. Same thing, declined. It's like, well, that's weird. Maybe it's the chip. She goes, yeah, try and swipe it instead. I was like, oh, okay. So I swiped it. I'm thinking, okay, that'll work. Declined. So then we tapped it. We did the thing where you just tap it on there, declined. I'm starting to panic. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, is your machine broken? Did the magnetic strip get messed up on my card? What's going on here? Because I know I have money in there, and the girl, she was a young girl, and I could tell she was embarrassed for me. I don't know if she believed me or not. She's like, well, do you have another card? And I'm looking around, and there's all these suburban housewives in line pretending like they don't notice what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I've got another card in my car. I'll just go get it. I didn't. I don't carry it with me. It was at home, but I wasn't going to say that. So I just left the groceries there and got in my car and went home. And, you know, I was just so, it was so awkward and so uncomfortable. I felt like I don't know, such a failure. And then I came home and I'm looking, I went online, I'm looking at it and stuff, and it shows there's money in there. There's plenty of money in there. And my daughter called while I was home, and I'm telling her about this whole transaction. And she's like, well, did you go anywhere before that? And I was like, well, yeah, I went and got gas. There you go, Mom. I said, well, I only got $40 worth of gas. I had $159 in there. She goes, well, look at the transaction, go on there and look at it. So I did, and it said pending. It hadn't posted yet, and it said $40, and underneath it, it said 120. So I think when you get gas at certain gas stations, they hold it for that much more. So they were basically holding $160. I had 159 on there. So I had nothing. I had nothing. So I was like, oh my God, I never had that happen to me before. So, okay, we're going to get you down. You're half on the desk and half on my lap, and you're going to fall. Okay, stay down. Stay down. I know you're going to try and get back up. Watch. So yeah, it was just, a really awkward, embarrassing feeling, especially when I know I have money. It wasn't that, and I'm sure she didn't believe me, because I'm sure she deals with that all the time, and people do that. But it was just, can you imagine if you honestly didn't have the money in there to go through that? How sad that must be. It breaks my heart for people that go through that. And like I said, I'm seeing it happen more and more. People are able to put their groceries on like a charge account now. There's, what is it? Karna Pay, something like that, where you can make payments on your groceries, which, and I guess it's actually better than using a credit card. It saves you interest and you just make it in payments. But come on, if you have to pay for your groceries with that, how bad are things? You know, how expensive have groceries become that people are doing that? How can they feed their families if they're having to use credit cards and, you know, pay plans to pay for their groceries? It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, so speaking of which, I had to get out tonight and, do my Uber thing after having a wonderful day and going out to the Preservancy. And well, you saw, if you watched my last video, it was beautiful. But tonight I did get out there and I did do my Uber. And it was so funny because I delivered Little Caesars pizza to a $1 million house. I thought, well, that's why he lives in a $1 million house, because he's not buying expensive pizza. I don't know, but I'll show you some footage. I added a little bit, and it was weird because the weather was so gorgeous earlier, and then tonight we got some sprinkles and it started raining. So I guess it's supposed to get chilly from here on out. It's going to get down to the 50s. We have to wear our parkas. So anyway, I'll include a clip from that. And yeah, that's it for me tonight. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Where'd you go, Jazz? Where'd he go? Oops. Okay, guys, I just picked up my first order for the night. It was a pizza from Little Caesars and some crazy bread. And it's 3.3 miles. For me, that's far. I don't usually go that far. Usually it's like 1 or 2 miles away. So, but I know exactly where it's at, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And it's still light out, and hopefully I get a couple more good orders. Diana, she ended up going to the next city over just as I got down there, so she's still dashing. She's still door dashing, I think. I don't know if that was DoorDash or Uber. I think she was doing them both. It's called dirty stacking. I want a dirty stack. I want to get a bunch of different, places that I deliver for, have them all going at the same time. I guess you're not supposed to do that. I don't see why not. I know I've seen where people do it online. I've watched other people do it, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know. Oh my God, check this place out. This is a beautiful neighborhood. It's literally right above my neighborhood, but these are way fancier homes than mine. This is nice. Beautiful, beautiful area. God, I wonder what these homes go for. These ain't only $600,000 homes, I'll tell you that. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I gotta look these up. I gotta go online. I gotta see. It's gonna bug me because these places are nice, and you get a lot, which is really nice. They don't have like a little postage stamp of a yard like I do. Wow, look at that. And he ordered Little Caesars pizza. Oh, now my whole car smells like pizza. That's the one smell that really gets to me. It's like, oh, I love pizza. I miss pizza. Oh, there I am. Hi, Dawn. Oh, look. You can see me. It's not up high. What's going on? Nice. Because remember, I had it so that it was getting me from like here up. Something gave, something dropped, or something. Should I go that way? Yeah, I'll go that way. It's just that there's more restaurants that way, and if I go down the boulevard, I might have a chance of getting more orders, but that's okay. Because I want to go down here so I can be in my regular spot so Diana can find me when she gets back. Yeah, it looks like it's getting dark already. Just, I don't know. It's weird. It's supposed to be cold this weekend. My hubby looked it up. You know, he always checks it out because of the games on the weekend. You know, he needs to know how to dress because sometimes one weekend it'll be hotter than heck, and you know, we need to have shade umbrellas, and then the next weekend we need to have umbrellas because of the rain, or you know. He was like, well, I guess I'm going to wear my parka this weekend. It's supposed to be down to 50. It's like, dang. Yeah, because right now it's like 65 degrees. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. It's nice out. Darn it. Check that out. There's the farmer's market. I always forget. It's Thursday nights. I've been wanting to go there. Oh, it is packed. It is packed. They must have a lot of good stuff. We're gonna have to make it a point to go there. Remind me, guys, because I'll forget. I know I will. But I've told my granddaughter too. It's like, we need to go there. We need to check that out. Okay, I'm gonna shut you off. Save my battery for a bit. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I am tired. I had kind of a weird night tonight doing Uber. I got this order. And I took it right away because it was like, they just wanted 2 things from the grocery store, and it was like $8. And it was real close. So I was like, okay. So Diane and I ran into the store. We thought it was going to be in and out. It was for some stuff called chamoy sauce. And I guess it's for alcohol. You mix it. I don't know if it's a mixer or what. I don't know what it is. But we had half the store looking for it. You know, they're like, oh, yeah, I think I've heard of it. And one person sent us here, and then another person sent us there, and then finally this one lady walked with us, and she helped us search the aisles for it because she's like, yeah, people have come here asking for it, but we don't really carry that, but we carry this other stuff, and it's also chamoy, but it's powder, and you put it on the rim of a glass. And so I messaged the guy and told him, you know, they don't have it. And he's like, well, what do they have? What's the alternative? And I said, you know, they have this stuff in a tub if you want. It's not a sauce. And he's like, well, is it a powder? And I said, yeah, exactly. It's a powder. He's like, yeah, I don't want that. I said, okay. And so I'm like, well, then I guess, you know, we'll just cancel the order. And he's like, do I cancel it or do you? And I was like, I don't know. And I looked on the thing and I couldn't find anywhere to cancel it. So I was like, could you do it? And he's like, okay. And then he messages me back and he says, I can't do it. So I was like, okay. So then I had to, you know, go online and get help, get support, go and do a chat. And they always make everything so hard. It's like, just cancel the order, right? And she writes me paragraphs. I should show you the book she wrote me, the AI or whatever. Finally, I was able to just go in and hit refund or something, and it just cashed it out right away. And so, you know, she's still talking to me, and it's like, the order's done. So I was done talking to her because I'm thinking it's not a person anyway, I don't think. But she kept talking to me. So finally I was like, I'm done. I took care of it. And then she comes back saying, yes, Dawn, we see that you've taken care of the order. It's like, oh, good. You know, 10 minutes later. But the nice thing is I ended up getting paid for it. I think I got paid like $8 anyway. They gave me the full amount. And plus I'm going to get, you know, Prop 22. They always pay me for my time, and because we spent like 15 minutes or something trying to find it. So, yeah, I got paid for it, and it was easy. And I think between last night and tonight, well, I'll put it here. I made 94, but I only went out for 2 hours, if even that, you know, and then the same thing yesterday. So, and then with the Prop 22 money that they always throw in, it turns out I'm making like $25 an hour doing this, and it's just so easy. Like I said, tonight I had my farthest order. I had to drive a whole 3.3 miles. I don't usually go that far. So I'm not driving very far. I do get requests for orders a lot in other towns. I got several tonight. I always hit no. I probably could make a lot more money. And if I was in a position where I needed to make more, I would start accepting those orders. But then I'd be putting a lot of miles on my car. Right now, I'm not putting a lot of miles on my car, and I'm averaging about 25 bucks an hour. So, but we'll see, you know, when my day job comes to an end in June, I might have to start picking up more of those orders. So I don't know, but I got to start figuring out the tax thing, because I read And I went online. My husband showed me too, you know, anything over $600, you got to start putting away like 25% or something, you know. So I'm there. I've got to start putting that money away in a separate account to make sure. So got to do that. What else was I going to tell you? It did start sprinkling after how beautiful it was today, just out of the blue. It started raining tonight. It's another reason why I decided to come home early. Oh, I was going to do my face routine. I was going to show you guys my skincare routine because people have asked. And I thought that would be interesting. So I'm going to do that in the next video. So, because I'm too tired tonight. But I promise in the next video, I'll show you my skincare routine. There's really not much to it. It's not like I buy fancy, expensive stuff. I wash my face. I put on, you know, some lotion, but, you know, I'll go through it step by step so you guys can see. Anyway, I'm making some tea. I'm going to go upstairs, watch a little YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.